Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is one of the most important things you need to do on your homestead. What am I talking about? I'm talking about clearing your fence lines. Now, those of you on big ranches and with a lot of livestock know this is really important, because if those livestock get out, that is your livelihood, and you do not want that to happen. So having a broken fence because of overgrowth is just simply not an option. Today we're going to show you 5 methods on how to keep your fence lines clear. And actually there's a 6, but we're going to leave that out for now. We're going to talk about it at the end of the video. So let's talk about the first method, and probably the method that needs to be used on the least intrusive vegetation into your fence line. And that I'm talking about tall grasses and some minor vines, some small vines. What we're going to use for that is a sprayer. Now inside this sprayer we have a salt solution. It's right at solution, which means no more can go into it. It'd be oversaturated. So as much salt as you can get into solution. And we're going to talk about this for clearing driveways in a future video, but we used 2 gallons, and it's about 6.5 cups of rock salt or water softener salt that works really well that goes into this. What we're going to do essentially is spray down underneath our fence line. So as you can see, we've got some blackberries coming here. Everything's kind of wrapping around the bottom of our secondary gate, and we've got some really tall grasses. This salt solution will kill everything here, and it's totally fine for the environment. Now, we personally don't use chemicals on our property. You may, and that's what you may choose to use, and that's fine. But we're showing you our methods for doing this. And this method, the salt method, for this little stuff here is highly effective, and it's way cheaper than buying the poisons. Now the second, third, and fourth method are kind of all lumped together, but having each of these separate tools is important. So we've got a pair of loppers, we've got a bow saw, or you can also use one of those fold-out saws, and we've got our marbles small camp axe here, a nice little hatchet or small axe that's going to be used to limb or a lot of these small limbs off and get at some vines at the base of some larger stuff that's growing next to the fence that can wrap through the fence. Here's one of those vines I'm talking about. Now we're probably going to take this out, I think, but taking this vine off is important. As you can see, getting in here is tough. So in this area of the property where it's fairly well wooded, you're going to need to come in here and chop this stuff down. Now, the loppers will probably take care of something this big, and we're going to get rid of that. Yep, no problem. We're going to get that down here. Where the loppers come in really handy, and in East Texas we have a big vine problem, all different types of vines. We've got these Japanese wisteria here. Now the flowers are unbelievably gorgeous, but they're totally destroying the fence. So we're going to come in here, and these loppers are going to be perfect for getting this out of the bottom of the fence. Where the loppers are going to come in really handy as well is we've got these small trees starting to grow up, and a lot of them, if you can see this one back here, are starting to grow through the fence and starting to move that fence and move that panel a little bit. So I'm going to take this one out, get that out of here, and I'm going to take that one off, because that one is the one that's going to distort and bend the fence and probably break it in the future. If you all are interested, we have got some great videos that highlight this marble small camp axe, and we've got a video of us creating and making this axe sheath for it. We've also got a video that shows how to create a coating that goes on the inside of this so that you can actually store the axe in the sheath and you will not rust or corrode your axe blade. So go check those out. We'd appreciate it. All right, as you can see, the last methods are the saws. Now the saws can be used interchangeably, but dragging out the big chainsaw for some little stuff is really not appropriate sometimes. And having a bow saw or folding saw with you is good practice to get at just some light stuff that's gone through the fence that the loppers won't take care of or the axe won't take care of. But you can see behind us, We've got some sumac growing through the fence. It hasn't started to bend it yet, but it will as soon as it gets a little bigger. So we need to get that out of there. We're going to hit this bow saw first, and then we're going to take the bigger ones out with the chainsaw. You can see that this sumac started to bend out and break our fence right in this area. So we're glad we got it out of here. Now let's go take care of the rest of them. I don't have to tell you, when you're using your chainsaw, always have your first aid kit around. Always have the proper equipment with you. Now in this case, you can see I cleared my path into here first because it was quite thick, and you can see that these two right here are really twisted up and grown through the fence. They're starting to bend it pretty bad. I believe I found the main trunk of the Japanese wisteria, which again is beautiful, and you go over on my Instagram, you can see pictures of the flowers. They're unreal. But this was, I don't know what this is, maybe a small oak. Yeah, got these out of here, and I'm not necessarily going to get these out of the fence. I don't think I can without a ton of work, and it's really unnecessary right now because we've cut off the growth from them, so they're going to stop, destroying the fence in this case, and we can clip them and trim them out later. But main thing clearing your fence line is you want to stop that growth and that destruction first. So get that done, and then you can go out and clear it later, unless it's really weighing down the fence. In this case, it's not, because we have this heavy cattle panel as our fencing. If you have a lighter fence, you're going to want to do that because it's going to start to drag it over. If these two were in a lighter fencing, it would have probably destroyed it already. So you want to get to it. Now, we've got roughly only about a quarter mile of fencing on 8 acres. You're going to have to do the math, and it's a lot of work. It'll take you a lot of time, but if you keep at it, just like weeding the garden, a little bit, you'll get it done and taken care of. That sixth and final method is this, our flame weeder, flame torch, whatever you want to call it. It is incredibly handy for clearing fence line, especially if you got a lot of vines growing on it like we do, or you have a lot of tall grasses around the base with vines growing in it. So let's get to clearing this with our flame torch. I recommend you keep a sprayer full of water, or a shovel, or a bucket full of water, or even a fire extinguisher with you, so that you're not spreading the fire everywhere. You're being incredibly careful when you're doing this. This is why I actually don't use this method that much, even though it's effective and it's very useful. I don't use it that much because of just the chance of things getting out of control, but it is very useful. We hope this video was helpful for you in showing you how to keep one of the most important things on your homestead clear, and that's your fence line. Like I said, if you have livestock, it's even more important, because a broken fence means missing livestock or predators inside in your property attacking your livestock, and that's not good either. So keeping those fence lines clear with all those methods we showed you is really important. All those things that we use here in this video and on a daily basis here on the Homestead will always be linked in the description below, and they will always be in our Amazon store at countrylivingexperience.com. We hope that you enjoyed the video. We want you to subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell, all that kind of good stuff. Stay with us here on a permanent basis. Come see us next Tuesday on our next video. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.